Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tatiana and today we're going to be talking about your life's purpose and what's going to happen when you're closer to it and when you're further away from it. And the reason why we're focusing on that today is because we manifest a lot easier when our desires are coming from our life's purpose. And what happens whenever we are further away from our life's purpose is that one way or another, life is gonna find a way to drag us back into alignment. And the interesting thing about that is that when we look at energetics, everything is duality and energy. Everything is in motion and everything is momentum. And whenever you come to earth, whenever we're born, we all have a purpose. There are multiple articles online describing how when people are about to pass away, how their biggest regrets all come down to if they were able to fulfill their life's purpose. In essence, if they were able to go after their dreams, if they were able to take those bold risks, if they were able to actually live an authentic life, if they were able to pursue what they wanted. If not, those are the biggest regrets. And at that point, there's no going back. There's no turning back time. There's only passing down the wisdom to the next generation. And interestingly enough, in astrology, the planet Saturn, the one with the rings, the one that holds structure and is identified with structure for the solar system, whenever it goes and makes a whole round back to the same position when you were born, which is before the age of 30, that is when essentially you go through a meeting with your own inner manager. And in this meeting with yourself, this is what they call a Saturn return. And around this time, 28, 29 years old, is when, if you have not been able to even tap into the surface of your true life's purpose, that is when there's going to be multiple events, there's going to be multiple lessons, there's going to be multiple signals that are going to be presented your way that are going to start nice and slow, and then they're going to get bigger and bigger. And that is when typically people go through something that is called the ego death, the dark night of the soul. And having gone through mine myself around that time as well, even though I had already found most of my purpose, I still was not confident. I still was not able to be courageous towards being able to connect more and dive deeper into my soul. And different events had to happen for me to be able to realize that there is something bigger in life. And when we are not operating from our life's purpose, life is not going to have a preference on how gentle or how harsh is going to show you these lessons. You're going to get them one way or another. And this is when some of those lessons involve near-death experiences. Some of those lessons involve you having to make decisions that you would have never wanted to make them because you had an alignment with your ego so strong that you feel essentially that you're dying inside. And this is what is called an ego death. It's not that you're actually dying, but you feel that there is something just fundamentally wrong. However, after you're cracked open, essentially, you realize that after that surface, there is so much essence that you hadn't even remembered that was there to begin with. And you realize that actually things are not as bad as they seemed back then. And if you want me to dive deeper into these topics, such as the dark night of the soul, the ego death, the Saturn return, let me know and I will make another video that can be more specific towards that. After all of these events have happened, because when your Saturn return is able to go back and return to the same placement as when you were born, that is when you have that meeting with yourself. Sort of like when you have a meeting with your manager and it's the quarter review. It's almost like you have that meeting with the manager, and the manager does not care about mundane accomplishments. It cares about soul accomplishments. It cares about soul alignment, which takes place over months and about 3 years for you to fully learn the lessons and go to the next level. You're essentially going through your own matrix journey, and you have the choice to continue to remain with the same information that you know and continue to live your life the same way, or make true and fundamental changes that are going to change your life radically. And they might not be easy at first, but any first step is better than no step at all. Because when we are not operating from our life's purpose, when we are not in alignment with what our heart truly desires, we're going to feel that something is missing. And when we feel that something is missing, one way or another, we're going to be dragged into realizing the nice way or the not so nice way to go back and be able to reflect. And the thing about reflecting is that at first, even when I look back in time when I was in college and I needed to go out most weekends and I needed to feel that I was part of a social group, and with time I realized that I actually enjoy peace a lot more than trying to keep up with appearances. That ultimately, yes, it's nice to look back in time and remember really nice times and fun times with friends and my loved ones and my sister. And everyone's going to be different. You're going to know which are the moments that feel timeless and authentic, and that those connections have been able to pass the test of time. And similarly, when we're looking back at our accomplishments, the ones that really and truly touch our soul and make us feel authentic and genuine and in alignment with ourselves are going to be the ones that we are going to treasure more. And when we connect to them, we feel re-energized because yes, we were able to not only prove to ourselves that it was possible, we also serve as a beautiful example to others that things are actually possible. And the more that we are able to quiet ourselves, quiet our surroundings, just being surrounded by the sound of music, by the sound of nature, the more that nature just energetically, intuitively recharges us. And it is through peace that we are able to get that clarity, that we are able to get the messages, that we are able to get the downloads from God, from Source, from the universe. And those are the very precious messages that we need. The more that we surrender to God in the moment by being present, by not being preoccupied with what happened yesterday, with what happened years ago, with what you have to do next, with what you have to do next month. You can have your time to plan ahead, and that's wonderful. I actually encourage it. But when you're being present, give yourself those moments, give yourself those minutes when the more that you're able to connect to yourself, it's like food for your soul. You're able to nurture it with the most nourishing meals. It's almost as if you go and dive into the Garden of Eden, where everything is good, where everything is precious, where everything is preserved, where you can just go and eat from any fruits, where you can get your grapes, where you can get your mangoes, where you can get your flowers and be in peace and abundance. And you're leaving aside the world of death. You're leaving aside the world of blood. You're leaving aside the world of chaos. That does not belong in the Garden of Eden. So find your own Garden of Eden by contemplating how beautiful and wonderful and magnificent God created you already. Invest time in yourself by creating your own Garden of Eden, by creating your own altars around you, by creating your own section in nature, by creating your own prayer section. Whatever feels sacred to you is going to come back multiplied to you times fold. And the more that you're able to invest time in yourself, the more that you're going to be able to get downloads and intuitively magnetize and attract everything that you need in order to continue with your alignment with your soul's purpose. And you're going to be able to continue to live a happier and more fulfilled life the more little steps that you take towards yourself. And it's going to pay back times fold. You're going to feel that fulfillment. And the good thing is that there are communities with like-minded people who prioritize their self-growth. And speaking of, thank you very much for being part of this community. I love you all so much, and I appreciate that you are here in this time and space and this channel. And in the future, I would definitely love to be able to create events where you're able to connect with more like-minded individuals who just make life a lot more easier the more that you connect and you continue to multiply energetically with one another. So thank you very much for being here, and I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that you were able to get some great value out of it. If you find that this can benefit someone that you know, please feel free to share, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And I hope that you have a wonderful and magnificent day. I will see you in my next video.